We are here at ETCIO Annual Cloud Summit, the 5th edition, and today I'm going to have a conversation with Mr. Mani from Uber. Hello, sir. Welcome to ETCIO Annual Cloud Summit 5th edition. Looking forward to have a conversation with you. So we have seen that a lot of CIOs are innovating and indulging in many new technologies, and obviously the cloud has been a good source since COVID. But when it comes to handling the cloud in making a cost-effective decision making is still a struggle for most of the organizations. Why do you think so it is, and how we can tackle the same?
Hey, first of all, thank you for having me here. Super happy to be part of the ETCIO conference, especially on topics like cloud and AI, makes it super interesting. And also listening to a lot of CIOs here on how they are leveraging it to solve the problems. So from my perspective, especially on the cost aspect, it's a valid problem, right? So the interesting part today we have multiple cloud providers. Right? So the question is, hey, how do I? Every company is trying to see how I can minimize the cost. Which cloud provider should I use so that I can, maximize the usage of cloud, but at the same time I have very less cost. So in this, I have two ways of solving. One is if you look at all the cloud providers and if you look at their functionalities of what they provide, more or less it's only plus or minus 5% in terms of functionalities. Even if some cloud provider is lacking in the functionality, they will get to the same functionality within like next few years or next few months, right? So it's not about what cloud providers are providing to you as a functionality. The more interesting part is how are you going to leverage those functionalities? How are you using that cloud provider, right? That is more important. Today, what is happening is 80% of the time, as CIOs, we actually spend a lot of time to figure out who is the best cloud provider that I should use. And then 20% of time is spent on once the decision is made, okay, why don't you now use this provider? Actually, I differ with that. I actually want to do the other way around. It doesn't matter which cloud provider you are choosing. What matters is how are you using the cloud provider? Are you having your data models right? Are you storing it in a normalized form or an unnormalized form? Are you going to do joins when you are going to do a big query analytics? Then in which case the compute cost is going to be very high, right? So a lot of those things matters a lot. And that is the one which actually significantly increases the cost, right? So so what we should do is we should actually spend 80% of our time on how we are going to leverage costs. Get on to the details of what kind of data are we storing, what kind of data should we keep it in cache, what kind of data we should put it in the hot storage versus cold storage. Once we nail those things off, then you go figure out what is the cloud provider, and then put on top of that it will automatically reduce cost. That way, it doesn't matter a lot, but focus a lot on how you want to leverage a cloud provider and what kind of data models so that you optimize the way you are using cloud.
I think that's a very pertinent thing that you have mentioned. That it's not about saving the cost; it's about why you are saving it and making the purpose very well clear when you are making any strategy. In today's time, AI is also ringing a lot to our ears. That how it's going to transform the industry. What are the new innovatives initiatives are coming on board. But I think one of the key areas is also to look at how you're using AI and for what purpose you are using AI, as you have said it. So how we can, as you handle a lot of data, so how you are using AI when it comes to intelligent decision making, which is very very important when it comes to enterprises today.
Definitely, right? So when you're handling a large and huge amount of data, right, tools like AI will definitely help, right? So I will give you some examples in Uber's context so that it's easy for you to understand, right? When you're running a marketplace where there's a supply and demand, supply is more like the number of cars that we have on the platform, demand is more like the number of riders who are, right? Pricing plays a very important role on how you want to price. If you price it at a very high level, if you price it higher, your demand is going to reduce because riders feel that, oh, the price is so high that I don't want to opt for a car. If you price it lower, the supply is going to have an effect because drivers are not going to accept your request because they feel that, oh, I don't want to take this ride because even if I drive, I'm going to get very less money, right? How do you price it in the optimal fashion? And it's not a very simple problem where you just look at previous data and then you come up with the algorithm and just say that, okay, this is the pricing, because there are a lot of real time things that actually plays into pricing in terms of weather, in terms of traffic, in terms of supply in the region where you're getting the request from, right? When you have all these things, then we feed all this data into AI, and that helps you give us pricing. which is the right optimal pricing, whether we should apply a surge or not, whether it should be, sometimes we may know that, the elasticity of the rider pricing. Sometimes rider may not be like, I am fine paying more, but I need a car now, right? Sometimes driver are like, hey, only on this type of, it doesn't matter what the cost is, but I want to take a long trip, right? So there's a lot of different parameters which comes into picture, right? So we feed all in these into our AI models, and that will help us decide what should be the pricing. And once you have the right pricing, that will help in the customer experience. How? Because now that you have the right pricing, you are going to, the drivers are going to accept faster. The moment drivers are accepting faster, the time that, customers wait on the spinner time to say finding a driver will reduce. So the transaction is actually happening. This is one such example where, we are leveraging, ML and AI. There are a lot of other scenarios. Like I can give you another quick example, right? When you say that I want to go from A to B, you say, get me, the moment you put in A to B, we show you a list of products. We have more than 10 products in a lot of regions, right? We have Uber Auto, Uber Moto, Cars, Excel, Uber Go, Uber Premier. What order you want to show? That's a very important thing. A lot of people will choose the first two things. If you're going to show a very high value product in the first, and people may say that, oh, it's too costly, and they may not even go with the transaction, right? So we do a lot of MLA algorithms to figure out what should be the order in which we list the prices, right? We list the products in the product select, right? Like that in every screen of Uber, we actually do a lot of analysis, and we use MLA to ensure that, we show the right thing for the customer, because Uber is a very high intentful app, right? It's not like people are just going to sit through it and keep browsing for 20 minutes, right?
Engagement is all
Engagement is, they already know that I want to go from A to B. I need that vehicle now, right? So how quickly you can make that decision, and how quickly we can get the car or auto or the vehicle type that they are looking for, how quickly we can complete the transaction is extremely important. So real-time data with ML and AI support to show the right products with the right pricing, matching to the right driver, makes it very important for success of Uber.
That's very insightful of how you are able to understand the customer, take the intelligence that you are getting and place it into execution where it can give you the results. And I think that's what intelligent decision making is all about. Also, if I may ask that, how has your experience been so far of coming to this Cloud Annual Summit, and what kind of people you interacted with? If you can just give a feedback to us.
Yeah. See, one of the reasons I actually come for ETCIO Summit is the kind of problems that everybody, each CIO solves in their organizations. First of all, the problem statements itself are different. So understanding and looking at the details of why they are facing the problem, how is it different than the problems that we are facing itself is very interesting. Once you understand the different types of problems, then it is also interesting to know what kind of solutions are they going, right? Of course, in technology, there is no one solution, right? You can solve the same problem with 5 different solutions, right? Similar to the cloud provider. There is no one cloud provider. You can integrate with any cloud provider. Why did they decide on that particular cloud provider? Why did they decide on this particular model? Why did they decide on going to LLM versus some other method, right? Those are insights that you can get through these conversations. And these are things where you can actually, once you get that knowledge, you can actually apply on your day-to-day work, right? Conference is not like, okay, I come, I meet people and then just go back, right? It is more important is, can I take something back from the conference and apply it on my day-to-day work? And I feel ETCIO provides a platform where you can actually, relate to your day-to-day work from the learnings that you get from this summit. So that's why I am, coming here on a regular basis, and I'm very thankful to ETCIO for,
Sir, thank you
doing
so
these kind of
much.
conferences.